Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, we twab. Shalom, Lord in Christ, Adawan. Shalom, Israel. Shalom, Yabashim Shabrakatah to the brothers. Shalom, Yahashim Bashim Yahushai to the sisters. If you don't already know, we are the Isupk, which is Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Here we teach that all so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are God's chosen people in the Bible. And that is a fact. Now today the topic is going to be, Slack, just give me 1 sec. Turn my volume down, Slack here. The topic is going to be the power of the truth. Now, I'm not going to go too much into it because I want to go over more throughout class. I don't want to give it away. But I'll just start off by saying this, that there is nothing more powerful than the truth. You understand? The truth endures everything. I'm going to just leave it right there. We'll get more into the topic throughout class. But if I may, if you logged in, please like, share, and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. We got Priest Officer Salakia, if I butcher your name, Shabar Azakia. Shalom, what's going on? The reason why we're going over this topic is because there's a lot of deception that goes on in the world that we live in right now, right? You could thank Esau for that, as well as these other heathens. So we're going to be talking about the power of the truth and what it actually causes. So we're going to be reading for a couple of things. We're going to start off in Proverbs chapter 12, verse 12 through 19 in the Hebrew. This is the Sabbath service. So if you don't already know, we go over the first 7 verses in the Hebrew. And then we go over in the English. But we're also going to be reading out of the book of John. And we're also going to be reading out of the Apocrypha. We're going to be reading out of 1 Ezra chapter 3 and 4. Going over some accounts in the Bible about how powerful the truth actually is. So I'll just give everybody a quick second to just tune in, and we'll get started with the prayers. Okay. Okay. All right, with that, we're going to be getting started with the Lord's Prayer. Salaki, we're getting started with the Lord's Prayer. So with that, Amajim, just me up here. La Yasharala, which means to Israel in the Hebrew. Madyam upon Yahakwadam, which means to stand and face the east. As you should already know. Sisters, remember to have your heads covered. Brothers, remember to have your heads uncovered. We'll be getting started with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak with Ka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Latan Lanawa, Lakum, Call, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawatyanawa, Wala'a, Tabayanawa, Wanasaiwan, Abal, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Waha'ala, Wahataparath, Lawalumium, Aman. Now the Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Hakak, which is the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Babakasha, Latan Lanawa, Hakak, Hakak, Rapa'ah, Call, Makala, Wakal, Madawa, Hakak, Latahar, Ha, Montezariah, Hakak, La Aquayim, Hamathim, Hakak, Isle, Rakawath, Hatama Alu, Lagarashun, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the water, Aman. Hakak, which is the power in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. Now the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Alahayim, Wa Tazab Ya'ah, Alawap Yahana, Ha Alawapyan, Ha Sarunyan, Ha Kwatazayoyan, Ha Kayayoyan, Wa Akwathian, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, throw water, Aman. Now in the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yohanan, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. Now, Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, All, Hahoyim, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Izoya, Ma'ain, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayim, Wa'arataza, Oyadun, Lamawat, Ragorka, Oyawan, Shamorka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashun, Shawamar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamorka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yamyamka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wairach, Walayala, Yahweh, Yashamorka, Makal, Rai, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'athka, Wabawa'athka, Maida, Wa'id, I will love. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up my mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Now Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, all Damayat, Laka, all Takarash, wa all Tashakwat, all Kaya, Hana, Awayebyaka, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Ayl, Amaka, Ya'ayamwa, Sawadah, Waita, Yaitazawa, Ayl, Tazapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakidam, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Shum, Yasharala, Abudah, Kaya, Naitazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Ayaka, Baryath, Yakarafwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wa, Yeshama Alim, Mawa'aba, Wahagorium, Gabal, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalak, Palashath, Am Yeshabia, Tazawar, Gum, Ashawar, Nalawa, Aimum, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labunya, Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Lahum, Kamadyum, Kasaya, Sara'ah, Kayabyan, Manakor, Kwayashwan, Nashad Madwa, Bayan, Dara, Hayawa, Daman, La'adama, Shayadamwa, Nada, Yamawa, Kairab, Wakaza Abba, Wakaza Bak, Wakata Zor, Manai, Kor, Nasayakamwa, Ashur, Amorwa, Nayarasha, Lanawa, Af, Naawath, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayadamwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapunya, Rauka'a, Ka'ash, Daba'ira, Ya'ira, Wa, Kalahaba, Dalahat, Haryum, Kun, Daradatma, Basa'iraka, Wabasa, Wapathka, Daba'alam, Mala'a, Panyahum, Kwalawan, Waya, Bakwashwa, Shemka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Waya, Bahawa, Adyai, Waya, Kaparwa, Waya, Abadwa, Waya, Daiwa, Kaya, Ata, Shemka, Yahweh, Labadka, Ayawan, Alka, Haratza. Now Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make atonement, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. A sword also was joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah, Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Ored, and like Zaid. Yea, all their princes, as Zabah, and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame sets the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Lord, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. You may be seated. All right, so first and foremost, we're going to be starting out of Proverbs, chapter 12, verses 12 through 19. And this is the Sabbath service, so you know. If you don't know, do the first 7 verses in the Hebrew, and then we give it in English, and then we give the breakdown, and then we'll continue from there. So that'll be the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 12 through 19. Let's give everybody just a moment. All right, so this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 12, in the Hebrew. Just one moment. Let's see. Kamada. Let me see. Let's see. Da'ash Shataza. Mataza Yada. Dataza Ya'um. Dataza Ya'um. Washadash. Let me see. Kaya Kwayaum Yatun. Let's see. Bapa Shataza Shapa Dayum let me see. Mawa Kwaash Dataza Waya Aya let me see. Mataza Salakia Mataza Dakha Taza Dai Yakwa let me see. Mapa Daya Paya Ayasham Ayash Salakia Ayash Yasha Ba'ai let me see.
Yaba. Ya Yaga Mayala. Wadaya Adam. Yasha Waba. Let me see. Yasha Yaba. Laan. Let's see. Nada Na. Wayala. Yashada. Yashad. Ba'ai Ya Naaya. Nasha Mataza. Latazai Ka. Kabaam. Awayala. Bayawaam. Yana Dataza. What's that? Ba'ai Ta'an. Waba. Waba Wabasa'a. Kuala Ya'an. Adayam. Yapa Ya'am. Ama Ya Naka. Yaga Yada. Tazada Kwa. Ya'id. Shakwa Dayam. Mada Ma'a. Yash. Baya Taka. Bamada Kwada Yata. Kadaba. Yala Sha Ya'an. Kaba Ma Ya'am. Mada Pa'a. Shapata. Amath. Thaba Ya'an. La'id. Ya'id. Dagai Ya'ai Ka. Lasha Ya'an. Kwada. Okay. All right, so that's it for the first 7 verses, 12 through 19. And now we'll get into the English. So this is Proverbs chapter 12, verse 12 in the English. Just one moment. The book of Proverbs, Salakia. The book of Proverbs, chapter 12, verse 12. The wicked desireth the net of evil men, but the root of the righteous yieldeth fruit. The wicked is snared by the transgression of his lips, but the just shall come out of trouble. Verse 14. A man shall be satisfied with good, with good by the fruit of his mouth, and the recompense of a man's hands shall be rendered unto him. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. A fool's wrath is presently known, but a prudent man covereth shame. He that speaketh truth showeth forth righteousness, but a false witness deceit.
So this is talking about pretty straightforward, a liar, a fool, right? Why is it wrong to be a liar, right? Why is it wrong to be a liar? Why is it wrong to bear false witness? Why is it wrong to be a deceitful and deceptive man or woman? Because it's evil. So says the Lord, right? Let me tell you something right now. You can't build anything off of a lie. You can't. Because, like lying is one of the hardest things that you could do, because when you lie, you got to make another lie to cover up that lie. And they got to make up another lie to cover up that lie, right? We do this all the time out in the world. When I say we, I'm talking about God's chosen people. Now, when I say we, I'm not speaking of brothers and sisters in the ISUPK, because in here we know better. I'm talking about brothers and sisters in the world. They lie all the time. I'll give you a pretty easy one right now, right? Brothers lie all the time when it comes to, my goodness, women, right? I know somebody gonna get mad about me talking about this, but like I said, I say this a couple times throughout all my classes. I give credit where credit is due. Brothers lie all the time in the world, especially when it comes to a woman. Now, in the Bible, we talk about this many, many times. You should already know this. Having multiple wives is fine. All right, you can have as many wives as you want, as long as it's a sister, by the way. Don't be sleeping with no heathen woman. All right, you can read about Solomon and what happened to him. But my point being is, having multiple wives is lawful in the eyes of the Lord, right? You can read about many men who've done it. The most obvious ones, King David, King Solomon, Jacob, our forefather, right? He had 4 wives. But in the world, what do you talk? You talk about Esau that you can only have one woman. You can only have one wife. You can only have one wife, right? But you can have a whole bunch of whores. I found out polygamy is illegal in most states, but it's funny because you can get married to one woman and then you'll have like 4 or 5 mistresses. You get my point? But brothers lie. You get my point? They lie. They tell their woman, oh, I only love you and it's only going to be you and me and blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, she starts finding strands of hair on her bed that ain't hers. You got a scent of perfume that she doesn't wear. You're gone throughout all hours of the night. And, when she calls you, you're not answering your phone. Why? Because you got another woman and you're too afraid to say anything about it because you've been taught that it is wrong. When actually, it's fine for you to have another wife. But brothers lie about it. So when you build a relationship, a marriage, off of lies, what happens? It crumbles. You can't build a foundation off of lies. It's going to crumble, right? Anything without a strong foundation is going to crumble. You build a house with a weak structure, it's going to blow right over, right? It's going to rain one time and then your roof going to collapse because you got a weak structure. It's cheap. You get my point? It's wrong to lie, all right? And when you lie, it leads to so many different things, man. Deceit, when you lie on your brother. I know some people don't want to talk about that. When you lie on your brother because you're hating on him for whatever reason, you shouldn't be hating on him. Salakia, just one moment, Israel. 12 through 19 right now. Slocky.
Let's see, Salaki. What was I talking about? Yes, a liar. Okay, a liar. What a liar does to his community, what he does to his marriage. Being a liar is just not righteous. All right, that's pretty straightforward.
But the thing is, there's nothing more powerful than the truth. Now, when you let lies run your life, you're just pretty much just digging a ditch for yourself, for you and your family and everybody around you. You're going to have a destructive lifestyle. It's very important to tell the truth at all times, even when it hurts people's feelings. Even when it hurts people's feelings. And that's what we do here in the Isupk and the Commander General Yohana. We're going to hurt your feelings. Okay? And you might not like what we say, but the thing is, you can't deny the truth. And the truth is that Esau is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Okay? Most High in Christ is that God's chosen people are so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay? We are the ones who are supposed to be ruling over this world, not Esau. You get my point? Doing drugs is bad. I don't know who told you otherwise. I know all these rappers out here love to talk about doing drugs and popping pills and Xannies and smoking weed and snorting coke and doing all that stuff. No, that's bad. You'll die. Like I don't know who needs to hear that, but if you do drugs, you're going to die. Okay, you smoke cigarettes, you're going to get cancer. Okay, you're going to die. If you are a raging alcoholic, you're going to die or get somebody else killed. We're going to tell you that. We're going to tell you that. The world is not going to tell you that. If anything, Esau glorifies that. You get my point? Now, the whole point of me going over this is because I want to go over how important the truth really is. So we just read out of Proverbs, right? We're going to be going over a couple of accounts. So we just went over Proverbs. That's just the base of it. Just pretty much talking about a liar. Now, I'm going to go to the book of John. I'm going to go to the book of John. We're going to start in chapter 8. And we're going to go start in verse 31. So we're going to go to the book of John, chapter 8, verse 31. So this is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 31. Then said Yahushua to those Jews which believed on him. So this is Yahushua speaking, or Jesus Christ as you would know him. If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. We've all heard this before. The truth shall set you free. What does that mean, though? Let's get into it. Verse 33. Then answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? Yahushua answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. I'm going to stop right there real quick. Yahushua says, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. Meaning that you are ruled by your carnal desires, right? You can read the book of Matthew. I believe it's in chapter 10. I'm paraphrasing. You can't serve two masters. We said that a couple of times, right? Now, when you give into sin, you're not serving the Most High, okay? You're not following after Christ. When you get that cigarette and you put it to your lips, you're a slave. Well, what does that mean? Because we just said that the truth shall make you free, right? Or Salakia, my fault. Yahushua said that, right? And it says that you are a servant of sin. Whosoever shall commit a sin. You're a slave mentally, spiritually. You're a slave because you're giving into your carnal desire. Because think about it. Like, it's no secret that cigarettes kill you. I mean, that's pretty common sense. Like, I have a little brother and I got two little sisters, right? My little sisters, let's see, one of them, man, she's 6, and the other one, she's 4. They're children, right? and they know that cigarettes are bad. Like my little sister will literally be like, that he's smoking cigarettes. That's bad. And she calls me by my worldly name, so I'm not gonna say what it is. But my point being is, she's a child. You get my point? She knows that cigarettes are bad for you. So as an adult, you know the harm that it'll do to your body. But you're a servant to sin. You're ruled by your carnal desire of, but it makes me feel good. I'm tired. I'm stressed out. I had a long day at work. Let me tell you something right now. Because of my slave, right? We go on deployment, and we have a lot of people who never smoked a cigarette or vaped. I know there's a lot of vapors out there who try to say, oh, well, vaping is a healthy alternative to smoking. You know what else is a healthy alternative to smoking? Not smoking. I don't know, like I don't know, like that's just the demon in your head telling you, like, oh, you can vape. Don't smoke cigarettes, but you can vape because it's not as bad. No, it's just as bad. Okay, you're smoking. My point being is, people are so desperate. Just an example from my slave, right? They were so desperate to get a break because work was so stressful. We're working 12, 14, 16, 18-hour days, right? It gets bad. So they got so stressed out that people who didn't even smoke started smoking just to get away from work. The stress was that much for them that they said, you know what? I just do it one time. I'll smoke every other day. Then you smoking every day. Then you smoking a pack a day. You see how it builds up? You're a servant. You know it's wrong, though. You know the risk that it's going to cause your body. You know that there's a risk you're going to get cancer. And there's all types of cancers, lung cancer, throat cancer, whatever. You know it's going to be bad for your health. You ever seen them commercials? I don't know if they show it anymore. This freaked me out as a kid. This is what made me not want to smoke cigarettes. It was like an older woman, and she had like the tube in her throat, and she had to like have some type of oxygen tank or something to hook it up to her throat. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And here she is saying that this was caused by her smoking cigarettes, right? You want to know what the crazy thing is? In that same commercial, she smokes the cigarette right there. Yo, you seen it, sis? And I'm like, you that desperate? You're a servant to sin. You're a servant. You're not adhering to the truth. You're not free. You're not. Right? Let's keep reading. So this is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 34. Let's see. Actually, no. Yeah, we'll start at 34. Yahushua answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committed sin is the servant of sin. And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth forever. The Son meaning, Yahushua. You get my point? Like, the truth lasts forever. I'm going to get more into that as we get on into the class, right? Verse 36, if the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. Meaning, like, I can make you free with the truth, though. If I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my word hath no place in you. So Yahushua telling them, like, y'all, I'm trying to speak truth to y'all, but y'all want to kill me because the truth does not abide in you. You could take that with the Isupk. When we go out to camp, when we hold our classes, and I mean, for brothers who've been in long enough, you already know, some people will get violent. They'll get violent. They'll cuss you out, start throwing stuff on you, all these types of things because they just don't want to hear it. And when I'm talking about people, I'm focusing strictly with our people. Heathens are heathens. They're going to do what they want to do. Esau, I expect Esau to come at us during camp because he's the devil that the Bible speaks of anyway. He's the embodiment of lies. Devil means deceiver, for those of y'all who didn't know. But my point being is, those brothers and sisters in the world are a servant to sin. They're a servant to drugs. They're a servant to the fact that they were molested as a child. Now they're a lesbian. They're part of the LGBTQ community, fornicating, which is unlawful sex, right? Pedophiles. You get my point? You're a servant to these things. So when you're a servant to it, remember, you can't serve two masters. You can only serve one or the other. So because you want to be a servant to sin, you don't want to abide in the truth. It's like kryptonite to you. You start, you ever see the movies like when vampires get struck with sunlight, they're like, I can't go near it. That's you. That's you. Every time we start speaking truth out, and it's like it burns you, like, I can't be around it. Because you're a servant to sin. That's the whole reason why. You're a slave to lies. That's the whole point. You're letting lies rule over you in your entire life, and it'll destroy you.
Let's keep reading. Verse 38. I speak that which I have seen with my father, and ye do that which ye have seen with
Your father. Now, Christ is talking about my father, right? He's talking about the Most High, okay? Because remember, we are the children of the Most High, correct?
Now he says, and ye do that which ye have seen with
your father, meaning y'all not serving the same father. So let's see what Yahushua is talking about.
Verse 39. They answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. Yahushua said unto them, if ye were Abraham's children,
ye would do the works of Abraham. Now, we know about Abraham. Abraham was a righteous brother, so much that the Most High made the lineage from Abraham's seed. That's why it says all throughout the Bible, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. If you want to take it back even a little further, who's the Abraham? Okay, question for the class. Who's Abraham the seed of? See if anybody knows. If you know, sis, by all means, feel free to answer. Let's see if anybody can answer that real quick. Who is Abraham the seed of? I'll give everybody just a few moments. I don't want to give it away just yet. I want y'all to think a little bit. Who is Abraham the seed of? I'll give y'all a hint. Oh, go ahead, sis. You got it? No, not David. I'll give you a hint. Noah had 3 sons. Go ahead, sis. You said what, sis? Most High in Christ. Yes. The sister, if y'all didn't hear her, she said Shem. Abraham is the lineage of Shem. If you take it back even further, before the Most High was the God of Israel, before Isaac, before even Abraham, it says that the Most High was the God of Shem. For those of y'all who didn't know, right? So it says right here, let's take it back one more time. The book of John, chapter 8, verse 39. They answered and said unto him, Abraham is my father. This is the children of Israel speaking, right? Yahushua said unto them, if ye were Abraham's children, ye would do the works of Abraham. Now, Abraham served the Most High so diligently that the Most High referred to Abraham as his friend. The Lord just don't give out that title to anybody. I just hope you understand that, right? Now, let's go to verse 40. But now ye seek to kill me, a man that hath told you the truth. They hated the truth because the truth did not abide in them. They served sin, just like how Yahushua said. Now, it says, which I have heard of God, this did not Abraham, meaning Abraham didn't do this. Remember, look, Abraham was so righteous to the point that he was about to slay his only son, Isaac. And remember, for those of y'all who don't know, a brief recap, Abraham and Sarah were struggling to have children. They wanted a child more than anything else. Sarah was well stricken with age at that time. And when the Most High prophesied that Sarah was going to bear the child, what did Sarah do? See if anybody knows. What you got, sis? Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly. The sister said that she laughed, right? She laughed because it was kind of like a snicker, like, I'm going to get pregnant. I'm like 90-something years old. Like me and Abraham, we've been trying since forever. Like we don't even get it on like that no more. How am I going to bear a child at this age? And they looked at her like, what you laughing for? Like this is the Most High we talking about. Like there's nothing that he can't do. And Lord behold, they had a child. Now you gotta think like Abraham loved his son, man. But the Most High tested him, right? He tested him by telling him to take his son, Isaac, up a mountain, and he had to slay him. And Abraham, look, I mean, you gotta understand like how grave that is to like a parent. Like you being told that you have to slay your child. Like, just imagine like what that would do to somebody's mind. But Abraham was just, all right. And he was gonna do it too. He was going to do it. But it was just a test. An angel reached down and grabbed him and said, you know what, you're good. We just wanted to see if you were gonna do it. We wanted to see how much you loved the Most High. Because if he would have chose his son over the Most High, that just would have proved that he really didn't love God that much. Remember, even Yahushua said that if you love, paraphrasing, your family more than me, you don't really love me. You don't. Remember, Yahushua had family, and some of them, they didn't abide in the truth. He said, this is my family. The ones who serve God. That's my mother. That's my father. That's my sister. That's my brother. That's my son. That's my daughter. That's who he rocked with. Those who serve the Most High. So just being an Israelite ain't good enough. That's just a qualification. Like, okay, you a child of God. Okay, that's great. But are you serving the Most High? This is what Christ is talking about right here. Now, they're claiming to be the seed of Abraham, right? But they're not doing what Abraham did. They're claiming that, let's go back real quick. Let's go back to verse 38. When Yahushua says, I speak that which I have seen with my father, and ye do which ye have seen with your father. So they think that he's talking about their forefather, Abraham. Let's see what Yahushua is actually talking about. So we're going to skip back down. We're going to go to verse 41. This is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 41. Ye do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one Father, even God. So they're claiming to be the children of the Most High, right? Okay. What does Yahushua say? Let's see what he says. Yahushua said unto them, if God were your father, ye would love me. For I proceeded forth and came from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Meaning that he's serving the Most High diligently. And if you really claim that the Most High is your father, you would love me. Because the Most High commands that you love your brother. You love your sister. But here they are ready to kill him because what's Yahushua doing? He's just speaking truth. Let's keep reading. Why do ye understand my... Oh, Slakia. Why do ye not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my word. Now let's see what Yahushua says right here in verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil. Let me bring that back real quick. Verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. Who is Yahushua talking about? Anybody want to take a stab at him? Who Yahushua talking about? Who is Yahushua talking about? What you got, sis? Most High in Christ. Esau. Remember, the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Devil meaning what? Deceiver. Remember, he said that the truth does not abide in you. So if you're not going to abide in the truth, what are you going to abide in? Lies. So when you're a liar, when you don't abide in the truth, you serve Esau. You serve the devil. That's who you serve. Remember, you can't have two masters lest ye love one and hate the other. So this is a perfect indication of it right here. You understand? That they hated the truth. They hated Christ. but they claimed to be the children of Abraham, Abraham's seed, his lineage. They claim this. They even claim that, let's see, let's go back. Let's go back to verse 41. It says, ye do the deeds of your father. That's what Yahushua says. What do they say to him? Then they said, they to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one Father, even God. So even though they're not abiding in the truth, they're still claiming that, the Most High is our Father. But how? How can that be your Father when you do the deeds of the devil? That's who you serve. You do the deeds of your father. So let's go back to verse 44. This is the book of John, chapter 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. For he is what? For he is a liar, and the father of it. Who's the father of lies? Esau. It's Esau. The truth was never in him, remember? When the blessing was supposed to be given, okay, I talk about this a little bit every class. When Jacob was given the blessing, right? Inherently, usually it's the eldest that gets the blessing or like an inheritance. Even though Jacob and Esau were twins, they were still of different nations, and Esau was the firstborn. So you would think that, okay, Esau would get the blessing, but it was already prophesied that the elder shall serve the younger. Who was the younger? It was Jacob. And remember, Esau was, it was already promised to him, at least so he thought, right? But then what did Jacob do? Some people like to say that Jacob kind of like swindled or he tricked Esau into giving him the blessing, but he really didn't. He walked straight up to Esau. Esau was a great hunter, right? He was a great hunter, so much that Isaac blessed him with what? The sword, right? That's why we say that there's no beast on the planet like Esau. He's the father of lies. You get my point? He's the most subtle beast in the field. Now, when he had the blessing, what did he do with it? He just gave it up. Jacob just walked straight up to him, had some food for him because, his older brother was tired from hunting all day and he was hungry. And he forked over his birthright for a slab of meat. The truth, he never wanted the blessing. He never wanted the truth because the truth was never in him in the first place. You get my point? So now let's keep reading. The book of John, chapter 8, verse 45. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. Verse 46. Which of you convinceth me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do ye not believe me? He that is of God heareth God's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because you are not of God. If you're a liar, you're not serving the Most High. I mean, I don't know how more blatant I can get with that. You get my point? Because, like Yahushua spoke of earlier, you are ruled by sin. That's who you serve. You are a slave to lies. You're a slave to Esau when you are a liar. I know people love to think that slavery ended, slavery was abolished, and, integration, right? No. I say something else, but I can't say it for the sake of the class, but F integration, right? I know. Matter of fact, what we got coming up? It's about to be February in about like 2 weeks, huh? And you know what that means? Black History Month, where we get to learn about all the atrocities every single year that the white man has done to our people. And, you're going to see a whole bunch of Salakia. I'm a Judite, so I'm going to get on Judites real quick. You're going to see a whole bunch of Judites out there talking about, I'm for the power and, all that great stuff, right? And then guess what? Black History Month going to end, and you're going to go right back to loving the oppressor. Tell me I'm wrong. Because it happens every single year. Ain't it funny how you learn about what the oppressor does to you for a whole month? Hold up. If I could real quick, let me take a moment for that. For an entire month, you are given the same routine every single year for 30 or 31 days. Oh, no, actually, no, it's February, so I think it's about 28 days. 28 days, a month, whatever. You're being shown what the white man in America has done to you throughout history. Every single time. Every single time. And then, oh my goodness, they love to play the I Have a Dream speech, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, the Black Panthers. You know, they love to bring this stuff and they glorify Martin Luther King. Let me tell you something right now. Y'all might not like this, but Martin Luther King was one of the worst things that ever happened to Israel. I'm going to tell you that right now. I know some people are like, how could you say that? You're black. Yeah, you're right. I am. And so I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Martin Luther King Jr. was one of the worst things to happen to so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. I remember I seen a post on Facebook, right? I seen a post on Facebook. Somebody put, we used to have our own schools, our own communities. Y'all heard about Black Wall Street. We had our own community. And Martin Luther King gave that all up just to be side by side with the white man. Damn, I was like, somebody need to get this brother in class, like Salakia. But it's crazy because it's the truth. It's the truth. People, oh, you know, segregation was so bad. Look, the white man gonna hate you regardless. You get my point? Integration was one of the worst things that happened to us because now we have no sense of self. Now it's all about what? God loves everybody. We forgive them. We should all come together. Not all Edomites are bad. You know, this one's nice to me. He hired me the other day. He's the best boss ever. You sound like a house nigga, Salakia. That's what you sound like. It was horrible. Integration took away our sense of self, man. We were already destroyed as it was, but that was just the icing on the cake right there. Now we have nothing of our own. Black Wall Street, there is no Black Wall Street. It's burned down. Remember, they were bombing our schools, gassing out our buildings. Brothers and sisters were afraid to sleep at night because they were throwing bricks in our windows. They were dragging, like, do I even need to talk about this? Trust me, y'all think I'm crazy. Watch when Black History Month happens again. Watch. And you're going to see everything that we talk about. And then when it's over, you're going to go right back to loving the oppressor. Because that's the father that you serve. You don't serve God. You serve Esau. That's your problem. Now, the reason why I'm going over this class is because I wanted to go over how strong lies can be. Because there's a lot of things that can rule over you, right? But what's more powerful than the truth? So I'm going to end in John, right? So now we're going to go in the Apocrypha. And we're going to read First Ezra. And we're going to start with chapter 3. Just one moment. All right, so we're going to start book of Ezra, right? First Ezra chapter 3. Let's see what this is talking about, right? So verse 1. Now, when Darius reigned, he made a great feast unto all his subjects, and unto all his household, and to all the princes of Media and Persia, and all the governors and captains and lieutenants that were under him, from India unto Ethiopia, of 127 provinces. Verse 3. And when they had eaten and drunken, and being satisfied were gone home, then Darius the king went into his bedchamber and slept, and soon after awakened. Then 3 young men that were of the guard that kept the king's body spake one to another. So let's talk about what these 3 men did, right? This is verse 5. Let every one of us speak a sentence. He that shall overcome, and whose sentence shall seem wiser than the others, unto him shall the king give great gifts. So they're pretty much like making a bet, right? And great things in token of victory, as to be clothed in purple, to drink in gold, and to sleep unto gold, and chariot with brindles of gold, and head tire of fine linen, and a chain about his neck. Meaning, like, you know, they're going to be, let's just say they're going to be some fly brothers. Let's put it like that, right? Verse 7. And he shall sit next to Darius because of his wisdom, and shall be called Darius his cousin, meaning he's going to be, a close friend of Darius, right? Because he proved his wisdom. Like we say that all the time in Israel. Like, hey, what's good, fam? It's family. You get my point? Now, verse 8. And then everyone wrote his sentence, sealed it, and laid it under King Darius his pillow, and said that when the king is risen, some will give him the writings, and of whose side the king and the 3 princes of Persia shall judge that his sentence is the wisest. So now let's keep going. To him shall the victory be given as was appointed. So, okay. Let's talk about what the first one did. So the first wrote, wine is the strongest. The second wrote, the king is the strongest. The third wrote, women are the strongest. But above all things, truth beareth away the victory. Let me read that one more time. The third wrote, women are the strongest. But above all things, truth beareth away victory. So that's in 1 Ezra chapter 3, verse 12 right there. So we're going to keep going. Verse 13. Now when the king was risen up, they took their writings and delivered them unto him, and so he read them. And sending forth, he called all the princes of Persia and Media, and the governors and the captains and the lieutenants and the chief officers. Verse 15. And he sat down in the royal seat of judgment, and the writings were read before them. And he said, call the young men, and they shall declare their sentences. So they were called and came in. Verse 17. And he said unto them, declare unto us your mind concerning the writings. Then began the first, who had spoken of the strength of wine. Now let's talk about the strength of wine, alcohol, right? Verse 18. And he said thus, O ye men, how exceeding strong is wine! It causeth all men to err, meaning to error, to do wrong, that drink it. Verse 19. It maketh the mind of the king and of the fatherless child to be all one, of the bondman and of the freeman, of the poor man and the rich man. It turneth also every thought into jollity and mirth, so that a man remembereth neither sorrow nor death. So what this is talking about right here is, it's like a common ground. Like, when brothers drink, right? Let's say you walk into a club, right? Let's talk. You go into a club, you got your crew with you, might be, some other people there or whatever, but you don't know everybody, right? Now you might be, a little bit more on guard. Some brothers are more sociable than others, right? But you don't know everybody there, so you're just trying to socialize. However, you get a little bit of alcohol in your system, now you're a little bit more relaxed. You're more loose. It's like a leveling field. So now when you speak to one another, you're not really too concerned of like, oh, I don't really know this dude like that. You're a little bit more at ease. You're more friendly, right? It's not a bad thing. That's just what it's talking about right here. But you see what this man is talking about. He's talking about the influence of wine, how it can cause you to err, like he said earlier. It can cause you to err, right? If you take too much, now what? Now you're drunk. Now your mobility skills aren't really all that. You really can't get behind the wheel. Drinking and driving, Salakia, please don't drink and drive. Please don't do that. Don't get no DUI. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt nobody. All right. But you see how it can cause, it influences your body, right? It can cause you to error, it can cause bad things to happen, but it can also affect your mood in a positive way, right? You're just chilling with the Akim, just having a couple drinks, just vibing out. That can be a good thing also, but it's an influence, it's an effect. So this man is trying to describe how strong wine can be. Now, verse 21 in the book of Ezra, 1 Ezra chapter 3. And it maketh every heart rich, so that a man remembereth neither king nor governor, and it maketh to speak all things by talents. Kind of going more into what we were talking about, like, you don't know somebody, it might be your boss, somebody of, high status or whatever, right? But, y'all have a couple drinks together and y'all almost not even really concerned about that. For the time being, y'all just friends. Y'all just having a good old time, right? Verse 22. And when they are in their cups, they forget their love both to friends and brethren, and a little after draw out swords. Now, this is talking about the negative, right? But when they are from the wine, they remember not what they have done. Meaning, like, if you're the type of man, you just have a legion of demons on you, right? You're able to keep it under control for the time being. This is for sisters too, by the way. But next thing you know, you get some alcohol in your system and then demons just come out. Now you ready to fight, right? We've all seen it. You go to the club, there's always that one brother or that one sister there who just can't handle their drink and they just want to fight everybody there because they're going through whatever. You done bumped into him, now he ready to kill you. Sister done stepped on another sister's shoes real quick. Up, now she ready to fight. You know what I mean? The influence of wine. So let's go to verse 24. O ye men, is not wine the strongest that enforceth to do thus? And when he had so spoken, he held his peace. So he's trying to make a good point. Like, alcohol is one of the strongest things on the planet because it can rule over your body. Now, let's continue reading. Chapter 4. Then the second that had spoken of the strength of the king began to say, O ye men, do not men excel in strength, that bear rule over sea and land and all things in them? But yet the king is more mighty, for he is Lord of all these things, and hath dominion over them, and whatsoever he commandeth them to do. So now he's talking about the influence of men, powerful men, right? The king, Pharaoh, the emperor, even today, your president, governor, a mayor, your boss, your supervisor, a man of status, of power. What is his influence? Is the king not the most influential thing on the planet? Now let's keep reading. Verse 4. If he bid them make war the one against the other, they do it. I mean, this is true, right? You can read all about war throughout the generations and generations of all nations, right? And behind every war, you always have somebody who's in command, right? It's always a lieutenant, a commander, an officer, right? King, whoever. Somebody's calling the shots, right? The influence of man. Let's see. Let's keep reading. If he send them out against the enemies, they go and break down mountains, walls, and towers. You could think about this with the Capitol. The Capitol when who was it? Donald Trump was going out of office and Joe Biden was coming in. And y'all seen how them Edomites was acting. They were going crazy. But somebody was leading that. You get my point? Somebody was leading that. All it took was one person to say something and everybody just followed. And you see the influence that man has to take down things, right? Break down mountains, walls, and towers. That's what happened. This happens today. This isn't just back in the day. This happens now. Let's keep reading. Verse 5. They slay and are slain, and transgress not the king's commandment. If they get the victory, they bring all to the king, as well the spoil as all things else. Likewise for those that are no soldiers, and have not to do with wars, but use husbandry, when they have reaped again that which they have sown, they bring it to the king, and compel one another to pay tribute unto the king. And yet he is but one man. You see the influence? They're saying it's just one man. One man is doing this. All it takes is one. You see somebody with great charisma, and people are just ready to follow him. They're ready to die for him, go to war for him, kill for him, serve him, right? And it says in verse 7, and yet he is but one man. If he command to kill, they kill. If he command to spare, they spare. If he command to smite, they smite. If he command to make desolate, they make desolate. If he command to build, they build. If he command to cut down, they cut down. Pretty much going over again, like whatever he says is going to happen, right? Now let's keep going. Let's go down to verse 10. So all his people and his armies obey him. Furthermore, he lieth down, he eateth and drinketh, and taketh his rest. And these keep watch around about him, meaning even when he's sleeping, they are so willing to serve this one man. They're going to protect him, even in his weakest state. Because when you're sleeping, you're vulnerable. You don't know what's going on. You're completely vulnerable. And now they want to serve this man so much, we're going to stand guard for him. We're going to protect him because we want him to guide us, right? The influence of a powerful man. Let's see. Let's keep reading. And thus keep watch round about him, neither make anyone depart and do his own business, neither disobey they him in anything. O ye men, how should not the king be mightiest? Which is such sort he is obeyed, and he held his tongue. So now he's making his point, right? He's making his point saying that, okay, men are the mightiest. Men are the strongest on the planet, right? So the first said wine. Now the second is saying specifically the king, but you can take that as an account of a man of great status, a powerful man that can, great charisma, can lead an army, emperor, pharaoh, president, whatever, right? Now, let's keep reading. Now let's see what the third has to say. This one's a good one right here. Verse 13. Then the third, who had spoken of women and of truth, this was Zorobabel, began to speak. Verse 14. O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them, or hath the lordship over them? Are they not women? This is a tricky one right here, because the Most High has a chain of command according to the Bible. All right. Of course, you have the Most High, then you have Christ, then you have man, and then you have woman. So the Most High put man over woman, right? But it's saying right here, let's read it one more time. In verse 14, O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them, or hath the lordship over them? Are they not women? Let's see what this man is talking about. Verse 15, women have borne the king, and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. Salakia. Verse 16, even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the vineyards, from whence the wine cometh. Verse 17, these also make garments for men. These bring glory unto men, and without women cannot men be. So they're talking about the influence of women. Now, the thing is, every king had a mother, right? That birthed him, raised him, nurtured him, taught him things. Like, that's his mom. You get my point? That's what the first one's talking about. And then it talks about the things that women do for men. Let's go back to verse 17. They're also, these also make garments for men. We have plenty of sisters in the UPK that make these glorious garments for us brothers. These bring glory onto men, because a virtuous woman honors her husband, right? She gives him a good reputation. A good woman will fatten a man's bones, meaning that, she adds to his life, right? She puts him at ease. Now let's keep going. Verse 18, yea, and if men have gathered together gold and silver, or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty? Meaning, hey, look, brothers love beautiful women. You get my point? Like, we can have, fancy cars and clothes, and brothers got the jewelry and everything. We might have all those things, but then we see a beautiful woman and we like, oh. You get my point? Like, now we not even worried about the car no more. What chain? I don't care about that. Who is that? I want to talk to her. You see the influence of a woman? But let's keep going. Verse 19. And letting all these things go, do they not gape? And even the open mouth fix their eyes fast on her. Pretty much what I was just talking about. And have not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold? Pretty literally what I was talking about. All these material things like brothers have, like a brother could be rich, right? We have some brothers out there who, are more financially stable, right? And they might have his dream car, dream job, right? Big house, living, I don't know, on the side of some mountain somewhere. I don't know. We don't got too many brothers like that, but there's some celebrities and stuff out there, right? But then he sees a beautiful woman. Don't even know nothing about her. She might work a 9 to 5. She not even, making as much as he is, but that's all it took. Her beauty captivated him, right? And look, it's all happened to us. Don't say it hasn't. Every brother has been a victim of this at least once. You get my point? Now let's keep reading. Let's see. Let's go down to verse 20. A man leaveth his own father and brought him up in his own country and cleaveth unto his wife. This is true also. Plenty of brothers today, like, think about it. When you get you a wife, like, you don't want to be in the house with your parents no more. You want to have a life with your wife. You're trying to get your own crib. You're trying to get your own house. Or let's say you're not even living with your parents, right? You could be a brother with no rib, living in a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, whatever. And all of a sudden you get a woman in your life. You're like, okay, yeah, I got to get up out of here. Now I got to get a bigger house. I got to make sure, got three bedroom, 3-bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, now he wants to do more. That's the whole point, right? But once he gets him a woman, now, okay, it's time to leave the nest, right? So now, let's go to verse 22. But this also ye must know, that women have dominion over you. Do ye not labor and toil and give and bring all to the woman? This is facts, right? Because what happens? Okay, when brothers have things, right? Going back, let's take it back a little bit. Let's say you are a brother that's a little bit more well off, right? You got all these things, cars, clothes, money, blah, 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 whatever. And then you get you a woman, right? Let's say she's a good woman. Now you want to take care of her. Now you want to make sure she's well off. Now you're giving all these things to your woman. Say I'm wrong. Now, let's keep going. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one too. Verse 23. Yea, a man taketh his sword and goeth his way to rob and to steal, to sail upon the sea and upon rivers, and looketh upon a lion and goeth in the darkness. And when he hath stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love. Meaning, this is you can use this more for like a weak man, like a spiritually weak man. Like, he will, okay. Oh, matter of fact, perfect example. Drug dealers, brothers who gang bang, all that stuff. They know it's wrong, right? But half the time, why do they do this? Why do brothers sell drugs, right? Maybe he got convicted of a felon at a young age. He can't get a good job, right? It's not paying enough for him. That 9 to 5 working at McDonald's, it ain't enough. It ain't enough. You have a woman now. You have kids. You have to take care of them. So now it's that pressure that gets to that brother. He's like, okay, you know what? I know it's wrong, but I got to get more money. So what he'll do, he'll sell drugs to his own community just to benefit his family. A brother will kill somebody over his woman. Say I'm wrong. Go to the wrong hood and approach some brother's rib. Speak to her the wrong way. Dare lay a finger on her pretty little head. And you're going to feel that brother's wrath in the world. You get my point? Because brothers go through great lengths to take care of his household, to take care of his woman. But the whole point of this is talking about the influence that a woman has on a man. Let me tell you something. I'll share something with y'all real quick. Y'all can't see it right now. I got a clear one in, but I got a nose piercing. I never thought about getting piercings in my entire life. You want to know what made me get a piercing? Because a sister in the world said that I would look very handsome with them. And that's why I got them. I'm going to be honest with you. I never cared about getting one, but it took a woman to just compliment me. Like, oh, I think you'd look really nice with that. Now I'm sitting here thinking, okay. You know what? Maybe I might get a piercing. I don't know. And then I get one. And it hurt. Like, you get my point? Like, it hurt. I'm like, it didn't feel good. But all that to what? Because the influence of a woman. right? Don't get me wrong, I like it, but I just wanted to kind of throw that out there real quick. Now let's keep reading. Verse 25. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother. Yea, may there be that have run out of their wits for women and became servants for their sake. Now, this is the one I want to talk about. This is like talking about a weak brother, because weak ass Negroes today do this all the time. Your IG models, little influencers, TikTok, all that stuff, and you just see a gang, like literally thousands, hundreds of thousands of comments, and it's all men. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh my gosh, marry me. Oh, she's wifey material. Meanwhile, she got a whole butt out. But you talking about she wifey material because the lust of a woman has overtook that man, that he's lost his own wits. He'll lose his mind over a beautiful woman, right? This is talking about more of like a weak man, right? But this happens all the time, right? You see brothers that'll turn against their own friend over a woman. Tell me I'm wrong. I've seen it all the time. You see two brothers, they might be best friends, them grew up together, went through the mud together, they so close that, they families damn near adopted each other. You get what my point? And then one of them, he might get a woman in his life, and let's just say she's just wicked, right? She's just wicked. And for whatever reason, let's say she don't like that other brother. So now she starts whispering sweet nothings into her man's ear, like, oh, I don't think you should be hanging out with him. I don't really like him. Then she started lying. Oh, he said this to me. He said that to me. And because brothers are so weak outside the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana, instead of talking to that brother, he'll just listen. Now all of a sudden he's hating his brother. Like, oh yeah, I don't like this dude no more. Y'all been best friends for 15 years. You've known her for all of 6 months. And now all of a sudden you hate your brother, all because of the influence of a woman. Tell me I'm wrong. Now let's keep going. Many also have perished, have erred or error, and sinned for a woman. Going back to selling drugs to your community, hating your brother, right? Stealing, robbing, killing one another. Verse 28. Now, and now do ye not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? And do not all regions fear to touch him? Yet did I see him in, let's see, I'm probably going to butcher her name. Apame, the king's concubine, the daughter of the admiral Bardicus, sitting at the right hand of the king, and taking the crown from the king's head and setting it upon her own head. She also struck the king with her left hand. Keep reading. Verse 31. And yet for all this, the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth. If she laughed upon him, he laughed also. Meaning that even though this is the king and he has this woman, right? But because his status might be of a king, but his mindset, like we just read, he'll go out of the wits for a woman, that he'll become a servant onto her. He allowed this woman to rule over him. And this is the king, right? But the king is supposed to be the mightiest thing on the planet. But here it is, a woman who took the crown off his head and smacked him. And she thought it was funny. She started laughing. And guess what he did? He laughed. He didn't discipline her. He didn't retaliate. He sat there and laughed there right with her. Let a brother do that. Let a grown man come up to you and take your crown off your head and rock you. I pray, first of all, you shouldn't even let anybody get close enough in a position to do that regardless. But let's say a man does do that. Oh, you ready to box. You ready to throw hands right there. But when it's your woman and you're a servant to your woman, you just think it's all jokes. Oh, you so funny, babe. That was what the king did, right? But if she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter, and she might be reconciled to him again. He was letting a woman rule over him. This is the king. Verse 32, O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus? So we just read about the wine, alcohol, the influence of man, and the influence of a woman. And we also spoke about being a liar, right? If you're a liar, you're what? You're serving, like Christ said, you're serving your father, the devil. You're serving Esau. All these things, right? All these different things can rule over your body if you allow it, if you allow to be a servant onto it. I want to make something very clear real quick. I want all so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to understand that we are servants of the Most High, though. We weren't here to serve Esau. We weren't here to serve Africans. We weren't here to serve the Chinese or the Japanese. No. We weren't even here, in a sense, to serve ourselves. We were sent here to serve the Most High, right? So it is in our custom to be a servant. But the thing is, when you don't serve the Most High and you allow something else to rule you, you become a servant to that. If you let wine rule over you, you're an alcoholic. Now you're an alcoholic. That's what you serve. You serve wine. Anything to get the bottle, right? If you let man rule over you, you're going to follow whatever man does, right? Whoever is the superpower at the time. Right now, it's Esau. His nation is crumbling right now. Most High in Christ for that. You know, you can thank the Most High for that. But the thing is, most Jakes in the world, black, Hispanic, and natives, they serve the white man because they view him like, well, you know, he's the most powerful thing on the planet right now. I mean, name a more greater nation than Esau. Remember, we thought that at the same time when Egypt was running, right? And what happened with Egypt? Look, there is no Egypt. Like, it's there, but like it's dust. You get my point? Like, Egypt was what America is today at some point, and the Lord wiped that out. Just like how this Omicron and all these COVID-19 variants, it's wiping out this country, wiping out the world, all right? The Lord is cleansing the planet, right? Destroying Esau's nation to show you that ain't the superpower. Don't follow man. And then the third talked about what? Women, the influence of a woman. Now, look, don't get me wrong. Sisters can have good influences on their husbands, you know, and the men around them. Don't get me wrong. But when you let your lust overcome you and you're willing to do anything for a woman, let me tell you something right now. Brothers say this all the time out in the world. Baby, I'll do anything for you. No. Don't do that. Do not sit here and tell your woman that you will do anything for them. Because when you say that, anything means anything. I hope you understand that. I hope that doesn't go over anybody's head. You'll do anything for her. Even sin. You'll sin. You'll eat pork with her. You know, baby, that's unlawful, but I love it. But I want to go to Red Lobster. I love the shrimp linguine that they give me. Oh, okay, baby. You know, I'll eat it with you. See? You see how that slips up? You know what we got? Oh, matter of fact, let's see. It's January 14th. What's in a month? Valentine's Day, right? And there's going to be a lot of my gosh, it's going to be a lot of sad. What you got, sis?
Just like what you just said. Okay, I'll do anything for you. When you don't get her that, what she want on Valentine's, she's gonna be like, I thought you would do anything for me. You know,
Exactly. Right. See, and the sister made a very good point. Right.
Once a woman or whatever it is gets you in that grip like that, and you allow it, it's hard, and your heart is really in it. You know, it's hard for you to get out because you don't want to offend them or don't want them to leave you or
Exactly.
you know.
Nah,
So wrapped up in it, you know that I don't have to do this. You know? I can come to the ISUPK, you know.
See?
Give me a whole bunch of humble women. That's what I want them to do.
Most High in Christ. Nah, look. If y'all didn't hear what the sister said was so heavy, we was talking about, okay, perfect example, Valentine's Day. It's about to come up. And like the sister said, you know, a lot of these brothers, I'll keep it real with you. Even when I was in the world, I didn't give a damn about Valentine's Day. But if I had a woman at a time, it's, but you know, what are we gonna do for Valentine's Day? Oh, you know, and then she's looking at all the other couples, you know, and their men, you know, giving them flowers and taking them on dates and, you know, candy and, you know, doing all this big celebration. And here I am. I'm like, man, I don't want to do all that. Like, now there's nothing wrong, taking care of your woman, but don't don't celebrate Valentine's Day. It's a pagan holiday. It's really about homosexuality, if y'all don't know. Okay. But the whole point being is when you serve a woman, even though you don't want to do it, like the sister said, but that's your woman though. You don't want to hurt her feelings. You're afraid she's going to leave you, all these things, right? So guess what? You just do it. That's why I'm telling y'all, brothers, do not do this. Do not say you'll do anything for your woman. Because anything literally means anything. You'll kill for her. You'll sin for her. You'll go against God for her. I pray you don't do that. Come on, man. Don't do that, right? So we're talking about all these things that can rule over us, right? But let's see what's the strongest thing out there. Let's keep reading. So let's see. First Ezra chapter 4. We'll go to verse 34. O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course. For he compasseth the heavens around about and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day. Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth and stronger than all things. Matter of fact, Salakia, I skipped a verse. Let's go to verse 32. O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do thus? Verse 33. Then the king and his princes looked one upon another, so he began to speak of the truth. Verse 34, O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course. For he compasseth the heavens round about and fetcheth his course again to his own place in one day. Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore great is the truth, the stronger than all things. And stronger than all things. All the earth calleth upon the truth, and the heaven blesseth it. All works shake and tremble at it, and with it is no unrighteous thing. Verse 37, wine is wicked, the king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such are all their wicked works, and there is no truth in them. In their unrighteous also they shall perish. As for the truth, it endureth and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. Meaning that there is nothing stronger than the truth. Lies, wine, man, woman, nothing stronger than the truth. Because the truth will, you can't stop it. You can't stop it. You don't believe me? Look at us now. Here in the Isupk under Commander General Yohana. We live in this world run by Esau in sin, right? In sin. We got places called Sin City. What, Vegas? Literally, it's called Sin City. You go to Vegas, you can damn near get into anything over there. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to you because it's legal. All right? Let me tell you something. In some states, brothels are legal. Just to paint a picture like of how evil this world is. It's legal. I talked about this at my last class. It's legal to kill yourself. You can go to the gas station and buy cigarettes. You can buy vapes. They have these little dispensaries now where, in some states where marijuana is legal. You get my point? Before you know it, I pray Christ come back soon, because before you know it, they're going to make cocaine legal. Homosexuality. You go to certain states, same-sex marriages are now illegal, right? Now they're slowly trying to slip the letter P for pedophilia in the LGBTQ community now. People think you're crazy when you talk about it. I know I talked about this before. If you enforce homosexuality, you enforce pedophilia, okay? because a lot of those sodomites were sodomized at a young age. Okay? That's why they're like that. Think about it. Lesbians can't procreate. It takes a man and a woman to procreate. A man and a man can't procreate. A woman and a woman can't procreate. That's just basic math. All right, you get my point? Now, the point being is, how does a sodomite procreate? Simple. You do that which was done to you. You were molested at a young age. Your uncle touched you. A woman touched you. You know how many brothers? It's so sad. It's before I even talk about the brothers, the sisters. It's so sad that everybody knows that Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women get raped. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how many sisters that I've met personally, my age, younger and older, and you start to hear their stories, and it's so heartbreaking, man. Because you start to wonder, like, man, like she's so beautiful. Why is she single? Because she literally has a mental disorder because she has been traumatized at a young age. So now she don't trust men because a man touched her when she was a little kid. She was taken advantage of. Even brothers, look, brothers, this one don't get talked about enough. Brothers get molested too. There are some women who are pedophiles out there. Don't believe me? Y'all heard about Jada Pinkett. Everybody done heard about her. All right? And she admitted it. She don't care. You think anything happens to her? Nope. You know how many brothers I met that saying like, yeah, you know, I lost my virginity when I was like 13. And I'm thinking like, okay, you know, he probably, you know, high school, middle school, whatever, probably met another girl at his age. It's still wrong, you get my point, because too young for that type of stuff. At least that's what my thought process was. Like, okay, you met somebody of your age. Nope. Lost his virginity to a 36-year-old woman. And I'm like, you were 13? And then, of course, nowadays, it's wrong for a woman or a little girl to get molested by a much older man, obviously. But then when it happens to the boys, it kind of just gets swept under the rug. It's almost glorified, honestly. I remember I seen it was like some video on YouTube or whatever, and there was this little boy, right? Had to be like 10 years old. He goes up on stage, there was some people rapping or whatever. He's going up there having a good time. Next thing you know, some grown woman in front of the entire audience starts twerking on this little boy. And nobody stopped it. If anything, they was hyping him up. Like, yeah, go ahead, get it, little man. And I'm like, this is pedophilia at its finest. You get my point? This is what happens in the world that we live in today. But the truth is going to endure all that. You can't stop the truth. You can't. It's like how Christ said, the truth shall set you free. You're not free if you're still living in sin, because sin is a lie. Like you telling yourself, oh, it's okay for me to do this. It's okay for me to eat this. It's okay for me to celebrate holidays. It's okay for me to sleep with another man's woman. It's okay for me to be a sodomite and smoke cigarettes, sell drugs to my community. That's just a demon in your head convincing you all that stuff. Because that demon is the ruler of your body. That deception, the devil that the Bible speaks of, is ruling over you right now. Unless you get into the truth and you start hearkening unto the voice of the Most High. I didn't say that. Christ said that. So you can't serve the Most High if you're living in deception or if you're a deceiver your damn self. Nothing is stronger than the truth. Not that, not alcohol, not women, not man, no materialistic thing. The truth endures all. I pray you understand. Slag, I'm gonna just check. See if nobody had any questions. Since you got any questions about anything before I close the class? No questions? Okay.
I have a comment about my job.
Oh, go ahead, sis.
Like, like I told you last time I worked at Amazon, during the different seasons, like the Thanksgiving season, you walk in all the way down the hall, just big turkeys, and the the blow up stuff for Thanksgiving,
Uh-huh.
and Christmas was the same thing. And now, I don't know when this King's birthday is or something. When we go in there, it's like a TV like that. got that speech playing over and over.
Mm.
You know, with him, with all the people, you know, and I had a dream. And I'm telling you, when I walk in there, my skin just cringe. I can't even stand to hear that stuff. You
Right.
know, since I know, I know the truth. So I'm just saying, I just be like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't know why they even put that there. I don't know why Amazon does that. I don't know why none of these companies. I don't know if they're trying to. That's a way of kind of keeping you in that slave mentality or whatever. I don't know what it is. But I know I just can't stand to hear that. I can't wait to get way down the hallway where I can hear that television.
Nah, I got you, sis.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to what we was talking about, the influence. Oops, like just one moment. But yeah, like you said, the influence, like and you're right. The reason why they playing that is to keep you in that slave mentality. Just to go more into, okay, like we talked briefly about Valentine's Day. I mean, personally, I haven't seen it yet, but I know what's gonna happen. You're gonna start seeing all these commercials. All these commercials, like, oh, you need to get her this, and da 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 da. You see all the hearts and everything. That's the influence right there. And if, like we spoke of earlier, if you're being a servant to women, you're gonna listen to that. You're gonna listen to it, and not just listen to her. You're listening to Esau, because who's putting that in your head? It's Esau. He's pushing that agenda, and you're constantly it's like on rewind. You just keep hearing it, hearing it, hearing it, hearing it, hearing it, and eventually you're just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then you're gonna do it, and you're not even gonna be happy. That's the crazy thing. Like a lot of brothers that celebrate Valentine's Day, they don't even be happy. They're just sitting there like, yeah, it's for my girl. It's for my girl. It was some people at my slave not too long ago. They have this thing. It's called the Christmas party. And of course, I didn't go, but I can't tell you how many. I'm gonna just say men in general, just all the men, all of them sat there and said, "Yeah, I don't really want to go, but my girl want to go, so I guess I'll get a ticket." I'm like, you don't even want to go to the damn thing, but you gonna go because your woman want to go. You see, because you're letting her rule over you. That's the whole point of it, right? But the truth endures all that. Right? I know we speak about it every single class. I'm gonna say it again. There is nothing more powerful than the Most High. Why do you think we refer to him as the Most High? There's nothing above him. That's it. That's it. We talking about wine. Who made the wine? We made the wine, but who made us? See my point? It's the whole point of it. But Salaki, if nobody has any questions, let's see. Let's check comments real quick. Let's see. No, okay, no comments. All right. All right. Well, with that being said, close the class. Got the water to everybody that tuned in. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Be greatly appreciated. Okay, and with that, Amajim, just me up here. Ayasharala, which means to Israel.
Madim Akwanya Hakwadam, which means to stand and face the east. Take it off. We getting started with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. All right, this is the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Ayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakavka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Latan Lanawa, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawathinawa, Wala'a, Tabayanawa, Banasaiwan, Abal, Habashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Waha'ala, Wahadaparath, Lawalumyam, Aman. Now in the English, the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. A cock, which is the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Babakasha, Latan Lanawa, Hakak, Larapa'a, Call, Makala, Wakal, Madawa, Hakak, Latahar, Ha, Matazariah, Hakak, Lahaquaya, Hamathia, Hakak, Isle, Rakawath, Hatama Allah, Lagar Shun, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the water, Aman. Now in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. The blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Wa Mayaka Allah, Wa Alahayim, Matazab Ya'ah, Alawap Yahana, Ha Alawapyam, Ha Saranyam, Hakwatazayoyim, Hakayayoyim, Waha Akwathian, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, the water, Aman. Now the blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yohanan, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, All, Haharyam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Izoya, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, All Yatun, Lamawat, Rogalka, All, Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yashun, Sharamar, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazarka, Al Yad, Yemyemka, Yawamum, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarach, Malayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal, Rai, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'athka, Wabawa'athka, Ma'ida, Wa'id, Awalam. Now, Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up my eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall, the Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Now, Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, all, Damaya, Laka, all, Dakarash, Wa all, Dashakwat, all, Kaya, Hana, Awayebika, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Il, Imaka, Ya'ayamwa, Sawada, Waida, Yaitazawa, Il, Tazapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakinam, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazakar, Shum, Yasharala, Awada, Kaya, Naitazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Al Yaka, Bar Yath, Yakarathwa, Ahoya, Adawam, Wa, Yashama'alim, Mawa'aba, Wahagoyim, Gabal, Wayamawan, Wayamalak, Palashaf, Am Yashabya, Tazawar, Gum, Ashawar, Nalawa, Aimum, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labunya, Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Lahum, Kamudyam, Kasaya, Sara'ah, Kayabyam, Banakol, Kwayashwan, Nashad Marwa, Bayan, Dara, Hayawa, Daman, La'a, Dama, Shayatama, Nada, Yamawa, Kairab, Wakaza Abba, Wakaza Bak, Wakaza Zol, Manai, Ko, Nasa Yakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Niarasha, Lanawa, Ath, Naawath, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayadama, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapunya, Rawaka, Kaash, Tabaira, Yaira, Wa, Kalahaba, Talahat, Harayum, Kun, Daradama, Basa Iraka, Wabasa, Wapathka, Dabahalam, Mala'a, Panyahum, Kualawan, Waya, Wakwashwa, Shamka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Waya, Bahal Wa, Ad Ya'ai, Wa Ya, Kapar Wa, Wa Ya, Abad Wa, Wa Ya, Daya Wa, Kaya, Atha, Shamka, Yahweh, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al, Call, Ha'aratazah. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace. And be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make atonement. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also was joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Ored, and like Zaid. Yea, all their princes, as Zabah, and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. Oh my God, make them like a wheel, as a stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Lord, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. All right, men of Israel, give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Amijam, Amijam Shabbat, Amijam, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatam. Men of Israel, face the sisters. Give one courtesy salute to the sister. Men of Israel, Amijam Shabbat, Amijam, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Shem Yahushua. Yajimata, class dismissed. No sweat, sis.